God's advice today. Have you ever felt that God is trying to speak to you, yet in the busyness of life, His signs go unnoticed? This message invites you to pause, reflect, and open your heart. Perhaps this is exactly what you needed to hear today. Watch until the end with openness, and if these words touch you, leave a like, subscribe to the channel, and turn on the notification bell to receive more messages like this. Don't forget to check the pinned comment for a 1-minute prayer and a recommended message to help strengthen your faith even more. God said, "My beloved son, listen to me attentively, because what I tell you is born from the deepest place of my heart to yours. I saw every silent wait, every dawn when you wondered if there was still movement when everything seemed still. Nothing was wasted. The time you called delay was formation. While you thought you were only resisting outwardly, I was strengthening inner structures, healing motivations, and aligning your faith. The tears you held back watered invisible roots that are now beginning to break through the ground with life. You were not forgotten, you were hidden to be prepared. Just as a river deepens before it gains strength, I allowed your soul to be carved to sustain the flow that is coming. There was silence, but never abandonment. Do you feel that you are ready for a deep change in your life and in the lives of those you love? Sometimes, all we need is a small step of faith to open the doors of abundance, peace, and the blessings God has already reserved for us. A simple 1-minute prayer can be the beginning of a spiritual journey that transforms the inside and is reflected on the outside. If you desire to attract more light, balance, and prosperity, spiritual and material, click on the first comment. There you will find a simple practice, guided with love, that can help you connect more deeply with the divine presence in your life. There was apparent delay, but never denial. Every closed door taught you discernment, every limit gave you maturity, every fall restored your dependence. Today, when you look back, you realize that you survived what once seemed impossible. Those who trust in the Lord are like Mount Zion, which cannot be shaken but endures forever. Psalm 125 verse 1. So lift up your eyes. The waiting has fulfilled its purpose, the season has changed, the movement begins now, and what will flow through you will carry peace, firmness, truth, and fruits that will remain. Comment, I trust in God's timing, nothing was in vain. Do not complain about time anymore, my son, because it was never your enemy, it was your silent teacher. While you believed you were standing still, I was working in invisible layers, aligning destinies, adjusting scenarios, and touching hearts that did not yet even know how to pronounce your name. There is an exact moment for everything, and the waters only move when the purpose is mature. I am the Lord of time, not only of the result. The silence you heard was not absence, it was heaven's concentration, divine strategy being formed far from human eyes. Now you begin to perceive a new strength being born within you. It is not a restless or noisy strength, but firm, stable, and conscious. A calm certainty grows inside you, and it does not come from external circumstances, but from the maturity I generated in your spirit during the waiting. You no longer react as before because you were transformed from within. What once shook you deeply now only passes through you without knocking you down. You learn to remain. You learn to trust. You learn to rest even without immediate answers. This is spiritual strengthening. This is true growth. This is my work in you. Comment, God strengthened me in the waiting. I carved deep reservoirs within you, inner places capable of holding the abundant rain of my grace without overflowing into disorder. The trials that seemed to wound you did not come to destroy you, They came to expand your spiritual capacity. Today you can sustain what, in another time, would have crushed you. It was not luck that kept you standing, it was process. It was not chance that preserved you, it was constant care. Your voice, which once trembled with fear and insecurity, now carries truth. And truth has spiritual weight. When you speak, it will not be empty emotion nor rehearsed speech, it will be living experience, marked by tears, waiting, and faithfulness. As it is written, "For the word of the Lord is right, and all his works are faithful." Psalm 33 verse 4. What you release today carries life because it was forged in the secret place, where few remain and many give up. You became a testimony not by perfection, but by daily faithfulness. People will recognize in you not someone who never fell, but someone who remained trusting even when everything seemed contrary. Your story now glorifies my name. Comment, "My story glorifies God." Your words will be seeds sown with purpose, and I myself will care for the soil where each one falls. It will not be up to you to force growth, over-explain, or try to convince those who are not yet ready. There will be dry hearts, hardened by time, pain, and disappointment, that will bloom when they hear your truth. It will not be by eloquence nor by human techniques, but because you carry authenticity. Your truth is born from experience, not theory. Your truth is born from experience, not theory. Your presence will become rest for the weary, and your consistency will be light for those who walk in darkness. You will not need to impose yourself, raise your voice, or prove who you are, because those who walk with me do not need to compete for recognition. The world is exhausted by noise, saturated with empty speeches, and hungry for living truth. And you have become an answer in this specific time. Not by beautiful words, but by an aligned, coherent, and transformed life. People will notice something different in you even before hearing you speak. You will be a silent sign of what happens when someone remains faithful even without applause, when they choose truth even when it costs, when they do not negotiate what they received in the secret place. Your life will point to me. And that will be enough. Comment, "I want to live the truth that God generated in me." Did you know that there is an effective method to attract greater financial prosperity? This technique can help transform your deep-seated beliefs and change the way you perceive reality. It had a profound impact on my life, and we would like to invite you to explore this special practice. When we trust that God wants to act in our lives, we gain the courage to ask Him directly. God desires to bless each of us in a unique and wonderful way. That's why it's important to seek His blessings with faith and confidence, believing that He has a special plan for you. If you would like to support our work and the team dedicated to bringing content that inspires and transforms, we invite you to check out our product. The link is available in the first comment, so you can discover how this technique can also help you on your journey. Your contribution helps us continue sharing messages that make a difference. We deeply appreciate your trust and support. My beloved son, I am stirring the waters, and when the waters move, destinies move with them. What once felt stagnant begins to flow again. What seemed dry receives life. What was asleep awakens gently but firmly. I am doing something new in your path, even if your eyes are still adjusting to see it. This movement is not meant to confuse you. It is meant to position you exactly where grace can reach you. You will notice subtle shifts, quiet adjustments, and redirections that only make full sense later. Do not resist them. Every current has purpose, and every bend in the river is intentional. I am guiding the flow of your story with precision and care. Trust that even when the water feels unfamiliar around your feet, it is carrying you forward, not away. I am not rushing you, nor am I delaying you. I am aligning you. Let your heart rest in this truth: nothing is out of control. I hold the source, the course, and the destination. As you surrender to this movement, you will realize that what you once feared as change is actually mercy in motion, shaping a future more faithful than anything you could have planned on your own. Learn to observe the details, my son. Not everything that is supernatural arrives with noise or spectacle. Often, I speak in whispers that require stillness to be heard. A meeting that seems accidental, a memory that warms your heart without warning, a simple phrase that touches deeper than expected, these are not random. They are invitations to awareness. You were waiting for thunder, but I began with the breeze, because those who learn to honor the small signs are prepared to carry the greater ones. The extraordinary often hides within simplicity, and wisdom grows in those who slow down enough to notice. Heaven is never hurried, yet it is always precise. I am training your perception, sharpening your spiritual sight, teaching you to recognize my presence in moments you once overlooked. When you learn to value the subtle, you become capable of sustaining the miraculous without losing balance. Pay attention. I am closer than you think, speaking more often than you realize, weaving purpose into the quiet corners of your days where faith matures without pressure. Even now, I am removing obstacles before you become aware of them. Stones that once blocked the flow are being lifted one by one. People, thoughts, and patterns that drained your strength are quietly being distanced from your path. This is not loss, it is freedom. I am straightening what was crooked and clearing what was heavy so the river can move without resistance. Trust what is leaving your life. Not everything that departs deserves mourning. Some things exit because they have already fulfilled their role, and others leave because they were never meant to continue. I am protecting your future by loosening your grip on what could not carry you forward. As the way becomes clearer, you will feel less strain and more peace. That is confirmation. I am not taking from you, I am preparing you. Walk without fear into the space that is opening. What remains will have room to grow, and what flows will no longer fight against unnecessary weight. At the same time, some things are returning. Old dreams, quiet promises, and gifts you thought were lost are awakening again. Nothing truly died, it was waiting for the right season. Now these things return with maturity, no longer driven by anxiety but anchored in peace. What once demanded exhausting effort now flows through grace. You will feel lightness where there was heaviness and clarity where confusion once lived. Yet understand this, the greatest miracle is not only the change around you, but the transformation within you. I am renewing your heart so you can recognize my hand in every step. Your mind is being reshaped, your perspective refined. What once felt ordinary will take on deeper meaning. Coincidences will reveal themselves as confirmations. You are entering a new season, not because circumstances changed first, but because you did. Walk forward with confidence. I am with you, within you, and ahead of you, guiding every turn of this unfolding story. The season of standing still has ended. The river is moving now, and you are being carried toward the place where the promise finally blooms. This movement is intentional, guided, and filled with purpose. New connections will emerge, not by chance but by alignment. New purposes will unfold, not rushed, but revealed at the right pace. New beginnings will rise from places you once thought were closed. Do not fear this movement. It did not come to break you, it came to lift you higher than where you have been. What feels unfamiliar is simply growth in motion. You asked, and I heard every word spoken in faith and every silent prayer whispered through weariness. You waited, and while you waited, I prepared paths you could not yet see. You persevered when giving up felt easier, and in that perseverance, I acted. Nothing was ignored. Nothing was wasted. Now is the time to live with courage, not hesitation. Step forward with trust, not doubt. The current beneath your feet is steady, even if your eyes are still adjusting. Let go of the shore you outgrew and allow the river to carry you. This is not the end of something safe, it is the beginning of something true. Move forward. Breathe deeply. Lie fully. You are advancing in divine motion. My beloved son, there are moments when what I am doing does not arrive all at once, because what I desire is not only to surprise you, but to grow you. I fill everything with meaning, even what once seemed empty or delayed. What you called impossible will slowly become natural, and what once required effort will soon flow with grace. Do not despise the small signs along the way, for they are the language through which I prepare your heart. Miracles do not fall complete from the sky, they expand in front of those who choose to believe. Each step you take, even the smallest, is woven into the whole of what I am building. Every breath, every meeting, every subtle change is part of the water gaining strength beneath the surface. When you begin to understand this, anxiety loses its grip and gratitude takes root. The one who recognizes movement in small things is the one ready to receive great things, because his eyes are trained to see beyond appearances. I move heaven on your behalf not because you are perfect, but because your heart still seeks me, still listens, still hopes, even after everything it has endured. You have not given up, even when exhaustion tried to convince you otherwise. You have not stopped, even when wounded by what you did not expect. Now you are entering a stage where your story unfolds like a scroll, revealing passages you never imagined. There are surprises waiting along the road, not as distractions, but as necessary stages of your growth. Even when the path seems to split, every direction remains under my gaze. Nothing is random, nothing escaped my attention. I know the weight you carried silently, the prayers you whispered when words were scarce. This unfolding is not meant to confuse you, but to expand your vision. What you are living now is not a contradiction of your past faith, it is the fruit of it. I am teaching you to walk without needing to see the entire map, to trust the one who sees the end from the beginning. The unexpected will no longer be a threat to you, but a confirmation that I am still actively writing your story with purpose and precision. It is no coincidence that certain doors have closed while others have opened. This is my hand guiding your journey. Listen to the rhythm of your spirit, because within it you will recognize the tempo of this new season. The synchronies you notice, the help that arrives at the exact moment, the ideas that appear suddenly, none of these are accidental. They are threads of a tapestry still being woven. You do not yet see the complete design, but you can trust the artist. Every step taken in faith adds color to this canvas. Even waiting seasons serve to mature the fruit. The seed beneath the soil is not dead, it is gathering strength to break the ground. Soon you will see green life where once there was only dirt and silence. Your faithfulness draws me near, because it speaks of trust beyond sight. I am not rushing you, nor am I delaying you. I am aligning you. What feels slow is actually precise, and what feels hidden is being fortified for longevity. Heaven moves for the one who remains steady. The season of waiting has reached its conclusion, and now it is time to flow. The waters are rising, and they will carry you closer to the promise. Nothing that is stirring around you is random, it is direction. What is leaving your life has been released with permission. Do not cling to what I have already removed, for it cannot accompany you into what is next. What approaches is fulfillment. This movement is not a threat, it is advancement. Your story is not collapsing, it is being rebuilt on eternal foundations. What is coming will be so clear that even those who doubted will see and acknowledge that my hand was involved. I have truly moved heaven on your behalf. You are not late. You are right on time, stepping into a moment that required everything you lived before to prepare you for what you are about to receive. The same power that opened the sea before Moses, that healed at the pool of Bethesda, that caused water to spring forth in the desert, is operating at this very moment for your sake. The time of merely observing has ended, the time of living has arrived. Heaven is not distant, it is active within you, adjusting what must align, shifting what must move. The waters are in motion, and you are the reason for their stirring. What once was preparation is now becoming spiritual engagement. What you are about to live demands direct intervention from above. Promises are ready to be born, and every promise awakens resistance. But do not be afraid. Before opposition even considered rising, reinforcements were already dispatched. You are not entering this moment unprotected or unaware. I have gone before you, surrounding you with what you cannot see, ensuring that nothing overwhelms you beyond what I have already empowered you to overcome. My army is in motion, and at its head stands the one entrusted with the sword of justice. Michael, the archangel of my presence, the guardian of my faithful children, has descended with direct orders. He does not come with empty words, he comes with decrees. He does not argue with darkness, he disperses it. Where there is confusion, he establishes order. Where there is fear, he plants the banner of victory. I have sent him because the time of silence has ended and the time of holy engagement has begun. Things that were bound for years, situations trapped in invisible cycles, are being broken free. Chains are snapping, strongholds are dissolving, territories are being reclaimed. Michael is already in motion, and the heavens are engaged on your behalf. What seems turbulent is not destruction. It is liberation unfolding in ways your natural eyes cannot yet interpret. Do not fear what you do not yet understand. Some movements feel frightening, but they are deliverance in disguise. What appears chaotic is a battle already being won. The winds you sense are swords in motion. The sound that unsettles you is the sound of chains breaking. While you slept, I was already fighting for you. While your strength felt gone, commands were already released. Michael has been authorized to enter places where the enemy attempted to establish ground, to uproot fear, sever oppression, and restore what was taken. You are not alone. I have personally ordered that you be surrounded. He goes before you to tear down resistance. Nothing that belongs to me will remain captive. Every opposing word is being cancelled. Every hidden force is being exposed. Every injustice is being reversed. What once slowed you will become momentum, and what once restrained you will serve as the platform for your victory. There are changes you cannot yet see, but they are already in effect. The waters are moving, heaven is engaged, and your path is being cleared with authority and love. My beloved son, listen to me with attention, because what I am speaking to you now flows directly from the center of my will into the center of your destiny. What once demanded exhausting effort is now beginning to move with a holy ease, not because the battle ended, but because I have stepped into it with authority. Chains have broken quietly, resistances have lost their grip, and paths that felt heavy are being softened by my hand. You may not have noticed the exact moment, but heaven did. The shift did not come from your strength, but from my decree. I have not been distant, watching from afar. I descended into the arena of your struggle, and I did not come alone. I sent my warriors ahead of you. The atmosphere around your life has changed, and what once pushed against you is now being forced to make way. This is not coincidence, nor timing alone. It is alignment. The weight you carried was not meant to crush you, it was shaping your authority. Now, as you move forward, you will notice that what once resisted now yields, because the river has begun to flow again under my command. Understand this, not every movement of blessing feels gentle at first. When I stir the waters, confrontation is part of the process. Light advancing always provokes darkness to react before it retreats. The agitation you have felt, the sudden weariness, the unexpected attacks on your mind and emotions are not signs of failure. They are proof that something is being displaced. Nothing that stands in opposition to my purpose can remain comfortable when I decide to move. What is misaligned will resist before it realigns. That is why your season has felt intense. It is not punishment, it is transition. The pressure is not meant to break you, but to expose what cannot remain. You are not unlucky. You are advancing. And every reaction you witness is simply evidence that the current is stronger than the obstacles that once stood firm. Stay steady. Do not misinterpret resistance as retreat. The river grows louder right before it breaks through. I have positioned my warrior at your side, and his presence changes the rules of the battle. Where he stands, negotiation ends. He does not hesitate, does not withdraw, does not bargain with fear. His sword cuts cleanly through what blocks the flow, and his arrival is never random. I send him when promotion is near, when a threshold is about to be crossed, when a new level is being unlocked. If the conflict has intensified, it is because what you carry is about to be revealed. The enemy only invests heavily where there is something valuable to stop. But hear me clearly, the fight you sense is not announcing defeat, it is announcing advancement. You were marked to break barriers that others could not pass. And I have already guaranteed that nothing will succeed in stopping what I have ordained. This is not a fragile promise. It is a sealed decision. You are not unguarded. You are not exposed. You are not forgotten. Protection surrounds you more closely than you realize. There are moments you will never see, attacks you will never know about, dangers intercepted before they ever reached your awareness. When fear whispers, it is answered with fire. When discouragement tries to bend your posture, your head is lifted again. When your strength runs thin, a shield is raised over you. This is not imagination, and it is not emotional comfort. It is active defense. Heaven has moved in your favor, and records are being rewritten where accusations once stood. Your steps are observed, your rest is watched, your worship is received even when it comes from exhaustion. Nothing about your journey has gone unnoticed. What is happening now reaches beyond your present moment. It is touching your history. Threads that bound you to old cycles are being cut. What was used against you will become testimony through you. Accusations will lose their voice and be replaced by evidence of grace. Patterns that repeated through generations are being interrupted. Invisible agreements that limited your progress are dissolving. I am clearing the path for a new season, not only by opening doors ahead of you, but by closing access points behind you. This is restoration with intention. Authority that was weakened by pain is being returned. What you lost while surviving is coming back multiplied. My warrior does not arrive to start wars without purpose. He arrives when victory is already authorized. His presence means the decree has been signed, released in the spiritual realm, and is now moving toward manifestation in your life. Nothing delayed by human systems, nothing interfered with by opposition will be able to stop what has already been spoken. The way is being opened before you. You will see it. People who once oppressed you will begin to withdraw without explanation. Environments that drained you will lose their power. Pressure will lift where it once suffocated. You will receive confirmations not through noise, but through peace. Insight will come in quiet moments. Relief will arrive unexpectedly. This is not emotional excitement. It is alignment. The atmosphere around you is shifting. Heaven is closer than you think, and its influence is tangible. Confusion gives way to clarity. Affliction yields to calm. Exhaustion is replaced by renewed strength. This is my work, executed with precision, sustained by authority, and carried out in silence until the moment it must be seen. Your willingness to trust me when the path is not fully visible activates a grace that logic cannot access. Faith that does not demand spectacle but rests in my goodness opens doors no human effort could ever force. Every step of obedience, every quiet decision to believe in the middle of uncertainty has been recorded. None of it is wasted. You are not walking blindly. You are being guided by light that reveals exactly what you need for the next step. Begin to expect what you did not plan for. The liberation unfolding is not only changing circumstances around you, it is recalibrating how you see. Where you once saw limits, you will now discern possibilities. Where stagnation dominated your vision, you will sense the current of my purpose beneath the surface. This inner transformation is as essential as the external shift, because it prepares you to inhabit the new space I am creating with wisdom, humility, and gratitude. The peace settling within you is the greatest confirmation that this work is mine. It has begun. You recognize the change. And you will see what once seemed impossible align in ways only I could orchestrate. Beloved child, I speak to you from the place where time bends and eternity watches. What you have known as limitation is giving way to expansion, and what once felt fixed is now yielding to movement. You are not imagining the shift, it is real, deliberate, and authored by my hand. Long-standing doors, sealed not by accident but by preparation, are opening with authority. Promises that seemed buried beneath layers of silence were never forgotten, they were preserved. I govern what sleeps and what awakens, and now I breathe life into what waited for this exact moment. The heavens have not been passive observers of your journey. They have leaned in, attentive to every sigh, every quiet hope, every prayer whispered when strength was thin. You are stepping into a season where the possible stretches to meet the impossible, and where outcomes exceed your former expectations. This movement did not begin on earth, it began where decisions are made before outcomes are seen. The sky itself has responded, and what was once restrained is now released with purpose. There has been a mobilization beyond your sight, an alignment of forces that do not grow weary and do not retreat. What opposed you has already been addressed, not with noise, but with authority. The resistance you sensed is losing ground, not because you fought harder, but because you trusted deeper. There are battles you were never meant to engage directly, and victories you were meant to witness rather than earn by exhaustion. You were carried through moments when standing felt like the greatest achievement, and that endurance was not overlooked. The field has been secured, the pressure redirected, and the momentum now favors what I declared over you long ago. What you feel stirring within is not adrenaline, but assurance. The waters of your life are in motion again, not chaotic, but intentional, carrying answers that have matured in secrecy. Your name has been spoken in places you cannot access, but their decisions affect everything you are about to experience. The time of being unheard has ended. The season of response has begun. You are noticing a new steadiness forming within you, a grounding that remains even when circumstances fluctuate. This is not the absence of challenge, but the presence of confidence. It is the strength that comes from knowing the weight of the outcome does not rest on your shoulders. You are learning to stand without striving, to remain without fear, to trust without demanding immediate evidence. This posture is powerful. It shifts atmospheres without effort and disarms opposition without confrontation. You were never meant to mirror the force of what stood against you. You were meant to remain rooted while I moved on your behalf. What unfolds next will confirm this truth, that peace is not passivity, and trust is not weakness. You will see outcomes that cannot be explained by human logic alone, and you will recognize them not by spectacle, but by precision. Everything aligns too perfectly to be coincidence. This is not random relief, it is intentional intervention. What emerges from this season will not fade with time. It will endure, marking a turning point that divides your life into before and after. You are stepping into a testimony that carries weight, not because of drama, but because of authenticity. Others will see in your story evidence that waiting is not wasted, and that faith matures even in silence. What you endured privately will produce fruit publicly, and not for your elevation alone, but for the strengthening of those who watch from a distance. The narrative forming around your life will carry clarity and conviction, revealing that precision governs every delay and intention shapes every detour. You were never abandoned in the pauses, you were being positioned. Now, as this chapter unfolds, you will recognize that every moment led here, and nothing was excessive or unnecessary. Even the pain served a purpose, refining your discernment and anchoring your trust. Walk forward with awareness, knowing that nothing ahead of you is unexamined. Each step has already been accounted for, each obstacle measured, each outcome secured in advance. What is unfolding in the natural realm is merely the echo of what has already been completed in the unseen. There is no uncertainty in what I have established, only timing governs its manifestation. You are not late, and nothing has been missed. The completion is so certain that its arrival is now counted in moments rather than seasons. What once required patience now requires readiness. Lift your expectations not in anxiety, but in calm anticipation. You are not chasing fulfillment, it is converging toward you. Remain open, remain grounded, and remain receptive. The simplicity of your obedience will accelerate the complexity of your blessing. Your waiting has transformed. It is no longer passive endurance, but active participation. You are now moving with what was once only promised. The flow you sensed from afar is now surrounding you, carrying you forward even when the terrain feels unfamiliar. The intensity you feel is not meant to intimidate you, but to free you. What appears turbulent is actually transport, shifting you from restraint into release. You are not losing control, you are gaining alignment. Listen carefully, and you will hear celebration beneath the noise, renewal beneath the pressure. Restoration announces itself not always with silence, but with movement. Everything around you is responding, adjusting, repositioning itself to match what has been declared. You are not overwhelmed, you are being ushered into expansion. Nothing has been lost beyond recovery, and no dream has expired due to time. What was delayed has not been denied. What was taken is being restored with increase. You will witness reversals that defy explanation and favor that arrives without negotiation. What once embarrassed you will elevate you. What once wounded you will validate you. The very spaces where you felt diminished will become platforms of honor. I saw the contradiction between your outward strength and your inward tears. I witnessed your perseverance when belief felt heavy and answers were absent. Every tear became a seed, and every seed has matured. Now comes the harvest, not as a reward for perfection, but as a response to faithfulness. Scarcity is ending. Abundance is approaching. What you build next will carry joy, what you dream next will carry clarity, and what you walk into next will feel lighter because you are no longer carrying what was never yours to hold. What unfolds will not only restore you, it will redefine you. The movement has begun, and it will not reverse. I hope this message has been an inspiration to you. If it touched your heart, write Amen in the comments and share it with someone who also needs to hear this word. I invite you to click on the first comment, where you will find a special prayer and a suggestion to strengthen your spiritual journey. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel to receive more inspiring content like this. See you tomorrow.